Shutter Sports Refresh, the show that breaks down all of the most important news in sports so you don't have to waste your time researching it. I'm your host, Lucky Roberts, and let's get right into it. It's officially playoff time in both the NBA and the NHL, and the first round has started for both leagues. So let's recap how the first couple of games have gone, starting with the NBA. The NBA has a unique play-in format to decide their 7th and 8th place teams. Teams number 7 and 8 for each conference in the regular season play each other to decide who gets the 7th seed in the playoffs. Teams 9 and 10 also play each other, and the winner gets to play the loser of the 7-8 game, and the winner of that third game gets the 8th seed and plays the number 1 team in that conference. Starting with the Eastern Conference play-in, it was the Atlanta Hawks versus Orlando Magic. The Magic took the win, meaning they became the 7th seed, and the Hawks played the winners of the 9 and 10 game, which turned out to be the Miami Heat. And so the Miami Heat and the Atlanta Hawks played for that 8th seed, and the game ended up being an overtime thriller. The Heat emerged victorious, meaning they are the 8th seed in the playoffs. The Heat were actually the original 10 seed, but fought their way to get to the 8th seed. The Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors took down the Memphis Grizzlies for the 7th seed after their collapse late in the regular season. The Grizzlies then went on to beat the Dallas Mavericks, taking the 8th seed. Now let's look into the real playoff action. Each matchup has played one game against each other thus far. The second games are starting tonight. In the Eastern Conference, the Cleveland Cavaliers are up 1-0 against the Miami Heat. The Boston Celtics are also up 1-0 on the Orlando Magic. The Pacers beat the Milwaukee Bucks, but it sounds like the Bucks will get their all-star Damian Lillard back for Game 2, so that will make the series a little bit more exciting. And finally, the New York Knicks went on a ridiculous 21-0 run in the fourth quarter to come back and win Game 1 against the surprising Detroit Pistons. In the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder demolished the Memphis Grizzlies, winning by 51 points. The Warriors upsetted the number 2 Rockets in Game 1 thanks to Stephen Curry's 31 points in a bit of a slugfest. The Minnesota Timberwolves also upset the number 3 Los Angeles Lakers. The most exciting matchup of the games won so far was an overtime thriller between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Denver Nuggets. But the Nuggets took this one at home after making an epic comeback, and the series is looking to be one of the most exciting of the bunch so far. Game 2 start tonight, so let's tune back into the refresh next week for some updates. Moving over to the NHL now, there were luckily no play-in for us to explain. Not all Game 1s have finished up yet, but let's break down the ones that have. The Winnipeg Jets took down the St. Louis Blues 5-3. The Colorado Avalanche took down the Dallas Stars in a 5-1 blowout thanks to their superstar Nathan MacKinnon's 2 goals. And the Carolina Hurricanes demolished the New Jersey Devils 4-1. The Devils star Jack Hughes was placed on IR for the rest of the season months ago, so the formerly dominant Devils are scrambling to stay afloat in the playoffs without him. In the famous Battle of Ontario, the Toronto Maple Leafs took down the Ottawa Senators 6-2 last night. And finally, the Vegas Golden Knights took down the Minnesota Wild 4-2. Again, make sure to tune into the refresh next week to check out the updates for the rest of the games. The Saudi Arabian Grand Prix went down in F1 yesterday, the 5th Grand Prix of the season. The winner of this one was McLaren's Oscar Piastri, who won back-to-back races after taking home the Bahrainian Grand Prix last week. Max Verstappen of Red Bull finished in 2nd, and Charles Leclerc of Ferrari finished in 3rd place. Looking at the driver standings, Piastri's back-to-back wins have now propelled him into 1st place above his teammate Lando Norris. With the top 2 drivers, you can only expect McLaren to be number 1 in the construction standings as well. The drivers now get a few weeks off, as the next Grand Prix is in Miami on May 4th. After the Women's March Madness finished up a few weeks ago, the best players have entered the WNBA draft, which went down last week. The number 1 pick was UConn's Paige Bueckers to the Dallas Wings. Bueckers has been expected to be the number 1 pick all year, and after her UConn team won March Madness, that selection became even more set in stone. Now we'll look to help the Wings' performance as they finished second last in the standings last year. Congratulations to Bueckers on her amazing accomplishment. And for this last piece of news, let's check in on the hottest teams in baseball now that the season has been underway for a little while. Although most would expect the Yankees or Dodgers to have the league's best record, it's actually the San Diego Padres who stand atop. Led by superstar Fernando Tatis, they've got a league best record of 16-6. The Dodgers and Yankees aren't too far behind though, so these standings could easily change from game to game. Make sure to tune into the refresh next week to see how the MLB standings update. And that's it for this week's episode of the Shutter Sports Refresh. I've been your host, Lucky Roberts, and I hope you learned something today. You Shutter Sports Media and the writer for this episode, Finn Noel, on Instagram right here. Thanks for watching.